Well, thank you for joining me. This video is aimed mainly at those with the Phantom 2 Vision and the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, for those who are having issues with their FPV. There's a couple of things I need to sort out first of all, I need to make clear. The first thing is this Phantom 2 Vision has all these boards inside its egg camera, okay? And it's this board here, the third board, somewhere around, I've chucked them all. It's the third board in this camera that suffers the loss of FPV, and there's absolutely nothing you can do with it. You can't reflash them, you can't replace them. All you can do is get another camera, and there's very few of them around at present. If it's a Phantom 2 Vision Plus, then yes, there are things you can do. The Wi-Fi module flash, I'll put a link to that in the description below. I do offer a flashing service for the sum of £45. You pay postage both ways, and there's just a £10 charge if for any reason I can't flash the board. 9 out of 10 do flash fine. There's just the odd one which has been damaged by heat, for instance, that doesn't want to flash up. So you can send it to me if you do have that problem. Okay, so Phantom 2 Vision has all these boards. There's third board failure. If it's failed, there's nothing you can do. The Phantom 2 Vision Plus has the Wi-Fi module inside. This obviously being the Phantom 2 Vision is not in that one. I don't have a Vision Plus to hand at the moment. So let's move on to a few things you can try first of all. First thing is to download the camera firmware and reflash it again. Now I'm going to take you through this step by step because there are some who are still having a little bit of problem with the concepts of flashing firmware, especially if they're new to quads or you're not very technical. I'll try and go as slowly as I can, but try and make it as clear as I can. Okay, so first thing you need to do is go to your laptop and open up an internet browser. If you have a Phantom 2 Vision Phantom 2 Vision, go to Google and type in Phantom 2 Vision software and click on this link here. It says downloads, manuals, software, drivers, etc. Click on that link and it will take you to the download page. You need to just scroll down a little bit and you will come to software and drivers. Keep going down and you'll come to this one here, the Phantom 2 Vision FC200 firmware version 1.19. It's a zip file. Okay, we'll cover that in a second. If it is a Phantom 2 Vision Plus, same thing again, type in Phantom 2 Vision Plus software, click on the link there that says Phantom 2 Vision Plus DJI. Excuse me. If you get that up, just click the cross in the top corner. And again, scroll down, and eventually you should come to Documents and Manuals, and then Software and Drivers. And you're looking for Phantom 2 Vision FC200 firmware 1.3.0G. You'll notice the firmware for this one, for the Phantom 2 Vision, is version 1.19, and the Vision Plus, even though it says FC200, it's still the same thing, is 1.3.0G. Okay, so we're going to do this for the Vision, because I don't have a Vision Plus to do it on. You need to click on the file marked zip, and it'll say you've chosen to open. You can either open the file or save file. We want to save the file, so click on the OK. Using Windows 10 and Windows 7, the procedure is the same. Go up to your little arrow where your download is. Come up here. This is in Firefox. If you're using this Explorer, it'll come up down the bottom saying open folder, etc. Click the little folder icon there, and you'll then find it highlighted in the list here. You'll need WinRAR installed. WinRAR is a free program and you can get it online. Double click it and it'll open up WinRAR. Click on there. Now there are two files. You need to extract those. So click on the extract files, and up here it will tell you where it's going to extract it to. So this is going to go into my downloads folder in a folder called FC200_firmware_v1.1.9. Click on OK. It'll extract them, close that out. Now find that folder, and as you can see, it's there for me. There is an update procedures text. We'll open that and we'll maximise it so you can read it. You read it yourself. Basically, it tells you how to flash the firmware. Nothing difficult about it if you just follow the instructions. What you need to do is you need to send this firmware file onto an SD card. Now, SD card is the same one that's in your camera. This is your SD card that's in your camera normally, and you're going to need one of these. Pop that in there like that, and then you're going to need one of these. That just goes in there, and then you pop that into your computer. Once it comes up, mine's a D drive for instance. I've got all this stuff on mine from the GoPro, from the videos I've been taping. What we're going to do is we're going to format the SD card. So put your mouse over D, make sure it's blue, press your right click button and find format, which is there. Make sure quick format is set and then just click on start. It'll give you a warning, format will erase all data, that's okay, we want to do that anyway. Click on OK and it says format is complete. Close that and go back to your Windows Explorer. If you don't know how to get to Windows Explorer, by the way, you have your little Windows key and E brings that up for you, or you can just simply type in the box down here Explorer and it'll open up an Explorer window. So once you got that, you now need to send that file onto the SD card. So go back to downloads, go back to your folder, which in this case the FC200, left click on firmware bin so it goes blue, and then right click and you'll find send to. Go down the list until you find USB drive and press your left click to copy it over. Go back to D and you can see there firmware bin is on your SD card. Okay, with that procedure done, we're now going to flash the firmware of the camera. So once you've done that, there's your SD card in there, you need to take that out. Turn your quad round to the back so you can see where the SD card goes in and just simply pop it in. Press it in until it locks. Now the most important thing is this little light here. Now according to the instructions that are with that software, it tells you to insert the card and then make sure camera's turned off. The firmware will begin. A yellow flashing LED on the camera indicates that the camera is updated. When the yellow flashing disappears, the firmware has been updated. Okay, so watching this little light here, I'm going to turn the quad on. There's the little flashing yellow light. That's now flashing the firmware. And then just wait for it to go green. Once it goes green, that's done. Now, it's the same procedure for the Phantom 2 Vision Plus. On the Phantom 2 Vision Plus, I think the SD card slot is sort of on the gimbal at the top up here. Same procedure applies, but obviously you use the correct firmware. Once that's done, take the SD card back out again. Pop it back into your holder. And then pop that back in your PC. Okay, go back to your D drive. You'll now see the firmware bin has been renamed to firmware.bin.back00. That shows that the firmware has been read and it's been flashed to the quad. At that point, obviously, power everything back on again, put your range extender on, open your phone. You might have been lucky and the firmware might have flashed and everything will be fine, everything's working. It's, you know, a 1 in 10, 2 in 10, 3 in 10 chance that flashing the firmware does fix it. It has been mentioned on forums that it is something that fixes it. If not, then we're going to need to proceed to stage 2. And stage 2 is going through the rebinding process. Well, if you're watching this part of the video, then flashing the camera firmware didn't work. So the next thing we're going to do is try rebinding the camera to the range extender. Well, let's clear a few things up. Okay. Camera has a Wi-Fi board inside. The range extender also has a Wi-Fi board. And what happens is the camera transmits its video to the range extender and the range extender then sends that information to your phone. This is like a little bridge between your phone's Wi-Fi and the camera. The reason why is it's got aerials in, but I won't go into that particular part. Now there are 2 stages to doing the binding process. Okay, the first one is to reset the range extender and then use the app to rebind it back again. The most important thing you're going to need is the MAC address of the camera. Now, I happen to know what mine is, it's written actually on the bottom of my camera. But if you've got a quad like this, and you haven't got the box, you need the MAC address. And it's not on the bird anywhere, it's usually on a little sticker on here, but it's not on there. So we're going to go to the computer, we're going to use a program. The program is called Insider Home. That's INSSIDER. It's a free program to download. You need to download it now and install it and set it all up. Once you've done that, come back to the video. So just pause me and go and download Insider, INSSIDER, because you're going to need that to find the MAC address of this camera. Okay. We'll just wait for those guys who are downloading Insider. Okay, right, so let's guess. Yeah, you get Insider installed and set up on your laptop. So what you need to do is to turn on your quad. Do not turn on the range extender, not yet, okay? Because otherwise it'll interfere with the process. So let's go over to the computer and we'll take a look at Insider Home. This is how Insider starts up. You need to click on Networks and then change Security and click on Open. And then just wait. It might take up to a minute, 2 minutes before you'll see anything occur. And what we're looking for, there we go, is this. It's an unnamed SID, okay, so it's a hidden Wi-Fi, and this is the bit we're looking for, is the MAC address, which is 00B9F5. Okay, 00B9F5. Now it does put it in uppercase, but trust me, it's usually always in lowercase. Make a note of that, 00B9F5, so we're going to use that to bind to the range extender. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the range extender and we're going to see how we set that up. On the range extender, we're going to turn it on and you're going to see the lights flash on the top, which are there. You want to just leave it for about a minute or so, and what you're looking for is for the system light to go steady. Now it might take, there we go, it's starting to flash now. I'll do this in real time, I won't fast forward anything so you can see for yourself, and just move the camera forward a little bit. So you can see for yourself, little system light is flashing. And what we're waiting for is we're waiting for that system light to go solid. As I say, it could take 30 seconds to a minute. Just let it flash. There we go, it's gone solid. Now, grab yourself a screwdriver like this, and in the side here there's a little hole. You want to press that in and hold it until the system light goes out. So keep hold of it. There you go, system light's gone out. That is now resetting itself and it's defaulting back to factory settings. Once that's done, we're just going to wait for it to flash again. And while that's doing that, we can now turn the quad back on. So now we're going to use the app now to bind the range extender to the camera. So on your iPad, your iPhone, I do recommend actually using iPads, iPhones. Android seems to have some kind of small issue with the binding process, not quite sure why. Turn on your Wi-Fi and you'll notice it says Phantom_6128FC. That's the MAC address of the range extender. So we're going to connect to that. Once it's connected, we're going to launch the DJI Vision app. We're going to go into settings. We're going to scroll down until you get to binding section. Tap on binding. There we go. Now it says camera bound or new camera. We're going to tap on new camera. And it's asking now for the last 3 sets of digits for the range for the camera on the quad. Now we know that was 00B9F5. Okay, once you've entered that, double check, make sure you got it all right. See, it comes up in lowercase, that's fine. Click the blue tick and click the blue tick again. Once that's done, I always kill the app, go into settings and turn off my Wi-Fi. And then I turn the Wi-Fi back on again. Now it might take a moment before the range extender boots back up. If it boots up really quickly, then you haven't done it right. Start the procedure again. But as you can see, it is taking a little while for the range extender to show back up. I'm doing all this in real time, so you can see just exactly how long it takes for everything to work as it should do. Still not quite there yet. Still waiting. There we go. The Phantom_6128FC has now appeared in the list. So we're going to tap on that. Come out of settings. and go back to DJI Vision. We're going to go back into settings. We're going to go to binding again, which is there. And you'll see now it says SID is FC2_00B9F5, which just double check is the right one. B9 00B9F5, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's now bound. Don't press the blue tick, just press the back button to come out of it again. Now, unfortunately, this camera I've got is suffering the lack of FPV. But what I'll do is I'll just tap on the camera icon, and you'll see that you can see your battery levels in the corner, the range extender levels, etc. I won't get any FPV. This is a failed camera, as I said, but that's how you do the rebinding process.